Hello, on this episode, we're going to talk about Hercules Hernandez. But I'm not for sure he's even called Hercules Hernandez at this time. A lot of times he's called Ray Hernandez, or maybe even his real name, which is Fernandez, I believe. Let's start off with the beginning of his career. By the way, Herc was trained by Hiro Matsuda in Florida. And so now we'll look at a couple of his first matches for Florida.
Championship Wrestling from Florida on April the 26th, 1980, at the Robarts Arena in Sarasota, Florida. Gordon Nelson versus Hercules. Central States Wrestling in 1981, April the 6th, 1981, Cloud County Community College Gym and Concordia, Kansas. Eddie Gilbert versus Hercules Hernandez. And then August the 9th, 1981, Championship Wrestling from Florida at the Eddie Graham Sports Stadium in Orlando. Charlie Cook and Sweet Brown Sugar defeated Hiro Matsuda and Ray Hernandez. And August the 17th, 81, West Palm Beach Auditorium in West Palm Beach, Florida. Hiro Matsuda defeated Ray Hernandez. Then we have August the 23rd, 1981, Eddie Graham Sports Stadium in Orlando, Florida. Buzz Sawyer defeated Ray Hernandez. August the 24th, West Palm Beach Auditorium in West Palm Beach. Bobby Jaggers defeated Ray Hernandez. September the 17th of 81, Musical Theater in Sunrise, Florida. Coca Samoa defeated Ray Hernandez. September the 23rd, Convention Center in Miami Beach, Florida. Assassin number 2 defeated Ray Hernandez. CWF Championship Wrestling from Florida at the Sportatorium in Tampa, Florida on September the 30th, 1981. Assassin 2 and Buzz Sawyer defeated Ray Hernandez and Gordon Nelson. And then the Southwest Championship Wrestling, October the 30th, 1981 at the Sam Houston Coliseum in Houston, Texas. Tiger Conway Jr. defeated Ray Hernandez in the Gold Cup Tournament round number 1. November the 23rd, 1981, Seguin, Guadalupe County Coliseum and Seguin, Texas. Kelly Kaninsky versus Ray Hernandez. And in December the 7th, 1981, Waco Convention Center in Waco, Texas, the Grappler defeated Ray Hernandez.
By the way, there's only one video that I could find that had the young Hercules Hernandez against the Grappler. Was Hercules what he would become in 1984 in Mid-South Wrestling? Nowhere near what he was. You could tell he was very hesitant on punching. He was very, I guess he was afraid he might hurt somebody because he was a big old guy, by the way. He was a huge guy, and going against the Grappler, which was Lynn Denton. Hiro Matsuda, though, if you'll notice, he kept on sending them places and getting them ready so he can learn from everybody. And so now his learning, the learning tree keeps on going. And I think Rodney's got the next 1982, I believe.
Yeah, we come up to Sam Houston Coliseum, Houston, Texas on December the 11th, 1981. Tank Patton defeated Ray Hernandez. Then we go to the Casa de Amistad in Harlingen, Texas on December the 13th, 1981. That was a lot. That was a mouthful. Ray Hernandez versus the Spoiler. Waco Convention Center, Waco, Texas, January the 1st, 1982. It's Bob Sweetan versus Ray Hernandez with the winner unknown. Then he makes his way to the Central States Wrestling. He's going to be at Memorial Hall at Kansas City on February the 11th, 1982 is Dewey Robertson defeating Ray Hernandez. Veterans Memorial Coliseum, Des Moines, Iowa on February 14th, 1982. Ricky Romero, Dewey Robertson, and Ray Hernandez versus Jerry Valiant, Gene Lewis, and Jerry Brown. Topeka, Kansas on February 23rd, 1982 is Ray Hernandez defeating Billy Howard. Memorial Hall, Kansas City, Kansas on March the 11th, 1982. Art Cruz defeats Ray Hernandez by disqualification. Kiel Auditorium, St. Louis, Missouri on March the 12th, 1982 is Ricky Romero and Mark Romero defeating Ray Hernandez and Billy Howard. Allen County Community College Gym in Iola, I hope that's right. Kansas on March the 23rd, 1982. Eddie Gilbert versus Hercules Hernandez. Winner unknown. Memorial Hall in Kansas City, Kansas. It's coming up on April the 1st, 1982, is Bob Brown defeating Hercules Hernandez. By now, I guess he's now Hercules Hernandez. Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa on April the 7th, 1982. Art Cruz and Ray Hernandez defeats Ricky and Mark Romero. Columbia, Missouri on May the 16th, 1982, is Mike George defeating Hercules Hernandez. Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa on May the 29th, 1982, is Hercules Hernandez versus Mark Romero, winner unknown in a Texas death match.
I could be wrong about this, but I believe, now I could be wrong, that Buck Robley is the one that starts calling him Hercules Hernandez. I could be wrong. This could be completely out, but he was actually on the tape. And I think he was booking the area at the time. So I believe he must have started calling him Hercules Hernandez. If anybody knows any different, leave a comment down below and let us know if that's true. Or he just said, "Hey, I am Hercules," and you never know. And then they just said, "Yes, sir, you are." We'll go with that. You're Hercules Hernandez. All right, Jack.
June the 10th, 1982, Memorial Hall in Kansas City, Kansas. Ray Hernandez defeated Buzz Tyler by disqualification. June the 23rd, Veterans Memorial Auditorium in Des Moines, Iowa. Roger Kirby and Hercules Hernandez versus Mike George and Mark Romero for the NWA Central States Tag Team titles. And then June the 24th, Memorial Hall in Kansas City, Kansas. Harley Race defeated Hercules Hernandez by disqualification. And then on the 30th, Hume Fair Arena, and I think I'm saying that right, Hume, Missouri, Dewey Robertson and Mark Romero versus Hercules Hernandez and Superfly Ray Candy. July the 1st, 1982, Memorial Hall in Kansas City. Hercules Hernandez and Abdullah the Butcher versus Mike George and Dewey Robertson ended without a winner in a time limit draw. July the 16th, Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis, Missouri. Dewey Robertson, Rufus R. Jones, and Spike Huber defeated Baron von Raschke, Roger Kirby, and Ray Hernandez. July the 22nd, 1982, Memorial Hall in Kansas City, Kansas. Dewey Robertson and Hercules Hernandez versus Manny Fernandez and Mark Romero ended without a winner as a double countout. August the 5th, Memorial Hall in Kansas City, Kansas. Manny Fernandez defeated Gary Royal and Ray Hernandez in a 2-on-1 handicap match. Then we have October the 8th, 1982, Checkerdome in St. Louis, Missouri. Kim Duke, Ken Patera, and Ray Hernandez defeated Dusty Rhodes, Bruce Reed, and Dewey Robertson by disqualification. October the 20th in Des Moines, Iowa, Terry Gordy and Mark Romero defeated Dewey Robertson and Ray Hernandez. And then November the 19th, Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis, Missouri, Dick the Bruiser and Bulldog Bob Brown defeated Ray Hernandez and Dewey Robertson by disqualification. And finally, December the 3rd, 1982, Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis, Missouri, Kerry Von Erich defeated Ray Hernandez.
Can you kind of see why he becomes a great professional wrestler? Look at the people that he got to wrestle, and just in his first year or two in the wrestling business, and this is not even his push yet. That's not even came yet. He would eventually, and we'll talk about it, he eventually goes to the Carolinas. He becomes one of the Assassins, and then he becomes Mr. Wrestling 2, then becomes Hercules Hernandez once again in Mid-South Wrestling. But that's all coming. We'll talk about the matches that he actually wrestled against and how he got to where he went, especially when he got to the Carolinas. Rodney, anything you wanted to add about the Hercules Hernandez?
Just awesome stuff. He, like we were saying, he was wrestling against some of the very best. He was learning, and in time he gets better and better. And by the time he comes to Mid-South, which we'll cover later, he is actually on top of his game by that time.
Tremendous wrestler. And I don't think after Mid-South, I don't think he was ever used the way he should have been used. Just really dumb. Jack, any comments on Hercules Hernandez?
I just always was so impressive. I mean, he, his physical stature, of course, always brought eyes, to him. But the fact is, he could back up everything in that ring. He could work with anybody, and that's a sign of a true professional wrestler.
Truly is. Okay, we want to say hello to all our insiders. We'll say hello to Richard Hood as he checks in. Michael Barr also checking in with us. Richard Hood said he would later become the Assassin 2. Yes, Hercules Hernandez with Jody Hamilton would become the Assassin 2. I believe he might have fired him. I'm not for sure. You know what? Jody fired someone. Fired one of the Assassins.
He did. He did. I remember watching that on Mid Atlantic TV when it happened.
He did fire him so, and I think that might be probably when we went to Mid South. We're a large amount of masked wrestlers. Yes, back in those days, and they got over. I don't understand why that's not done today. I think a masked wrestling team could get over majorly in wrestling. Hello, insiders from Rick Brooks. Richard Hood said him and Billy Jack Haynes had some great matches in the WWF. That was before Billy Jack was just way, way, way out there. I think he's up. He went where William Shatner went, but never returned. Hal did not return. Curious as to who came up with the Hooded Rustlers.
Well, they go back to the very early days. The first one recorded was in 1915. Mort Henderson wrestled as the Masked Marvel. So they have always been a part of our industry.
There you go. So Michael Barr, I want to know this question. Who was the wrestler with the heart punch? Ox Baker?
Stan Stasiak also.
There was another one. Who was the other guy that did it?
Well, one time, even Ron Bass was doing the heart punch.
Yes.
So that was that was in Southeastern. And
Rick Brooks also said that it was Ox Baker, Stasiak, Dan the Lang Insider, Dan / Lang Insider, Dan Lang. By the way, Jack's got his programs. I think we already said he's got his not programs, but his magazines. Anyone know what happened between Herc and Wahoo in Florida? They got Herc fired. He was both the Florida champion and the Southern champ at the time. Have y'all heard about this? Because I'm not for sure I have.
I don't think I've heard of this.
We will find out. We'll look it up and find out all the scoops and all the bad stuff that happened between that. Who knows? Who knows what happened? I don't know. You know, that'd be an interesting fight between Wahoo and Herc. I'm not for sure who would win that one. That could be a draw. I don't know, because they were both. Herc was tough.
I don't know that I'd want to be getting in between them trying to break it up, for that matter.
Could you imagine that fight? Because they were both just wild, crazy guys. Well, Wahoo wasn't really a wild, crazy guy. He was pretty, but he would whip you. But Herc was crazy. So I'm not for sure I'd want to see that. But I think Wahoo was probably booking at the time. Wouldn't y'all think so? Yes. Probably booking Florida, and he really did. He probably just said, "Listen, you're not any good. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of you. I gotta bring in Ron Bass." I don't know what happened there. Let's see. Michael Barr, the finishing holds in wrestling day are nothing near those of yesteryear. There are holds now that I cannot pronounce. Yes, I couldn't even tell you what the name of these holds are. That's the reason matches they mess up so much, because they got so many different names for holds and moves. Somebody don't even know. They said, hey, hit me with the heta bachata heta. And they don't even know what that is. They're just thinking, what am I fixing to get hit with? I don't know that move. You know, used to, you knew that a backdrop was a backdrop. You didn't have to. Everybody knew that, okay, you got trained as a backdrop. Now they might call it the triple somersault 3 out to the ropes move or something. You don't even
Coca-Cola challenge.
Yes.
That's right. You don't have no clue what it is. So the Masked Marvel, that was Spider-Man's wrestling name.
Also, Spider-Man's wrestling name was the Human Spider. Mm-hmm. And the person that he wrestled was Bonesaw McGraw.
There you go.
And actually, the Masked Marvel was Bugs Bunny against the Crusher.
That's it.
Great
absolutely the truth.
You know, that was better. That was better booking. That match was better booking than what's going on today.
He pinned his shoulders to the mat using safety pins.
Yes, he did. So see, that was great. Great
He
stuff.
went right through the canvas, right through the mat to the floor. It was great.
Where have we come to when we we know we come to the
Of
end?
course, you realize this means world.
Charles Bellflower had this to say: main event, Athens, Stan Stasiak versus Abdullah. 3 heart punches. Abdullah won't sell. Well, I'm not surprised. His Stan with the thrust of the rope, pin Stan. Match went less than 5 minutes. That's the reason. Thus, you cannot use Abdullah the Butcher all the time. It kill your territory after a while because he would not sell. And that's all, folks. You know what, Michael? You're about right on that one. When we're talking about Bugs Bunny and wrestling, you're right about that. So sorry, Jack. I'm talking about Spider's first comic appearance. There you go. All right, folks. Let's see. Amazing Fantasy number 15 is what it's on.
He's even got it down to the number.
Wow.
I remembered that number.
Don't forget, insiders, if you're an insider, don't forget that we are going to go on November 2nd. We go to 2 hours, and we will only be doing the live at 7:30 to about 9:30 every Tuesday night. Thank you all so much. Jack, anything we need to talk about before we leave?
Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. Be there. Go get your shirt. ProWrestlingTees.com.
Rodney, anything we need to talk about before we leave?
Richard was saying that Hercules Hernandez was also the super invader in WCW.
And we will talk about that. Be looking for part 2 of Hercules Hernandez right here on Pro Wrestling Inside and Out. I see Rodney's. Everybody's gone. We'll see you on the next episode. Pro Wrestling Inside Out.